What's up, everybody? My name is Jen Yuchin from Real.People.Gaming, and this is kind of like a special video. I am here with Hiko, and we are going to talk a little bit about the Blizzard controversy with China and Hong Kong and Hearthstone and everything that's going on. I've seen a few articles, I've read a lot about it, well, I would say a medium-sized amount about it, and I'm just looking to learn more before I really craft my own opinion, and I would also kind of like to know what everybody else's opinion is. So if you watch this video and you have something to say about it, like leave it in the comments, DM us, whatever. Hiko is here because you've been following the Hong Kong revolution for the past 3 months, you said?
Yeah, the last few months.
Yeah, I would like
I got them.
Yeah, so if you want to explain the shirt and the symbolism behind it first.
Well, this is here is actually in Cantonese. I had to double check it and make sure it was actually accurate. But what it means is Free Hong Kong Revolution Over Times, and the whole issue started with a bill that was being introduced into Hong Kong. The gist of it would be is everyone knows China is a communist authoritative government. Where even if you're in Hong Kong, if you spoke out against a government, they could basically go in, and that's what this bill would allow. If you spoke out against the government, they say criminals, but let's say I was very critical of the government, and I was trying to become the next president, and I kind of gave like a threat to President Xi. They could come in, bring me to mainland China, and say I'm a terrorist, kill me, or put me in jail or something, and they could abuse that.
So they can use it to kind of like take their choke on Hong Kong, which is, how do you describe it? It's its own.
Is what Hong Kong what Hong Kong is trying to do is almost like its own state. Think of it this way: New Jersey really can't influence any kind of thing on any kind of law or anything on Texas, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like that, though.
Okay.
China does have a hold on Hong Kong, regardless, because well, Hong Kong is in China. But it's their government that kind of gives them independence, but not quite. It's almost like think of it almost like a pseudo government in a way,
Yeah.
that does have some kind of influence. That's how I at least see it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's mainly happening in Hong Kong right now, and it started off peaceful. The bill got not revoked, but like suspended. So it's still a chance for it to come back, and they're protesting, and they have a list of demands. I don't have all of them, but what I know is they want that bill to be just outright gone. They want some of the Congress people that introduce it gone. They want their independence. They want their freedom, the civil rights.
China will abuse it.
Yeah, they're not a fan of how mainland China treats its people, and even a lot of people around the world doesn't like that because with Taiwan, I believe they have a strangle in Malaysia as well. Tibet, you seen this is the last 30 years how China has acted. And they're not the people that's living there are not a fan of it. And a lot of people also, and this goes even here in the States, what people are like, oh, they should just do it peacefully. They've been doing it peacefully, they're being ignored. And what happens when people get ignored? They get angry and violent.
And not so peaceful.
Yeah, I actually have a client. I'm not going to say names out of anonymity. His girlfriend is in China, and they caught a train on fire.
They call it a train on fire.
Yeah, after she got out, the train just went on fire. I'm not sure the exact location. It may have been Beijing, I believe, because it is starting to spill out to other parts of China. And she even seen someone outside in the mainland China. This part I do know. Had a sign saying, I think it's Guozhou. I'm sorry, I don't liberate our people, basically, right? Got gunned down by Chinese police. Did nothing wrong, was peaceful.
And they still got
eliminated. They killed the man. And this is someone that's in China that saw this. Like, All they want is a civil rights, and the whole thing is, I personally resonate with it as a black man because I knew people who marched for civil rights in the '60s. I got a chance to meet people as a kid.
So you've had those
So
conversations and you got to really see it for what it was.
exactly. And that's why I myself resonate with this on a personal and spiritual level. I have friends who have people who were adopted from China that see this, and it's really heartbreaking. I'm seeing families here being like almost broken apart due to arguments and fighting. But I digress. I'm gonna go back on topic with the
No, it's honestly true, and it's good to call the light to the seriousness of it. And the fact that you do relate to it is probably a huge reason why you're following it, you're keeping up with it, and you're creating awareness yourself, like not only by talking about it right now, but I'm sure just in general. Um,
Yeah, I've been sharing, and I even had some friends that from India like defending Blizzard, and to the point is they have no argument.
well, that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you, or I guess like just listen to you because I don't know where I stand, and I saw this really powerful like it was a May. I don't want to call it a meme, but I feel like it was more than that. It really was like a poster, saying like something about even if you
May
don't support no, it's like don't support companies who don't support human rights, even if you like what the games that they make, or something like that. I can
Yeah,
even pull it up
uh,
later, but I was like, this is a tough spot to be in because if you love these games and you love Blizzard, like you kind of want to like be on their side, but at the same time, like you feel morally wrong about it because you do feel like you should boycott it because they are censoring their content and their players and their community for what? For money? And that's what I want to learn more about because I just don't have a solid opinion on it.
all right. Let me say this out first as well. Like me personally, I have no malice to anyone that still wants to play their games and everything, because even myself, and this is some information that's going back. Excuse me. There was an issue with Square Enix, and even I will admit at times I do feel guilty, but I look at it this way: I'm writing stuff for reviews and such, so I have to take care of that on that. But I do have my own rights to where at one point I will be uh, talking a little bit more about Square Enix, and I believe it was Young Yeah, another YouTuber that discussed it. It's either Young Yeah or the Quartering or Sid Alpha. I don't really remember who, but it was had to do with sexual allegations, and
What, for Square Enix?
yeah, and I've
So
been a
you're
big
just
fan
like
of.
you're referencing it because you had that same
I still have that
not
feeling right now.
disassociation, but it's like do I still feel okay enjoying their games when maybe some good things aren't happening and it's like you don't know.
Exactly. Like I said, I have no malice toward that because, for one, not everyone are into politics. I respect that. Two, not everyone is going to fully understand or fully even grasp what's going on. That's why I say if you enjoy playing the games, do it. If you want to protest, do it. You're free to do what you want with that, and don't let no one try and say, "Oh, you're wrong for this. Oh, you're wrong for that," because it's your opinion on the whole matter. And
I think that's important that you said that too, especially somebody who really knows about the situation. And I want you to go more into detail about things that are happening right now later. But I think it's important that you said that because
yeah, because some people are too young to really understand what's going on, or too immature. Because honestly speaking, we do
too
need
naive. Like I feel like I'm naive on it.
we even like it's not even that. It's like politics itself. Discussing it puts a target on your back,
It does.
and people are afraid, and they say, "Oh, I'm still going to play," and people are like, "Oh, so edgy," or stuff like. Not everyone wants to get into politics. I understand that, but at the same time, I will tell you right now, schools worldwide really do need to teach people about the basics at least. Because even myself, I struggle with the basics. I'm not even gonna lie.
Basics of what?
Politics in general.
Mm.
Do research on it if you really are interested in the topic. And there's also books on political science. I recommend any kind of book within the last 5 years, since it's more up to date. But if you really want to go in depth look at the last 40 to 50 years. That's for those that really want to do
of
it.
political science, like
Yeah, in general, let's pick up books from like
historical
1960s,
events.
1970s, and you can really see how far we've come and how far we set ourselves back even.
That is because they do say, and they is so general, but like it is said that history repeats itself. It's been proven. It just
Mhm.
happens in different ways. And I think knowing your history is a good way to prevent some bad shit from happening a second for like another cycle. So, is there any other background on the actual core issue itself between China and Hong Kong?
That's pretty much the base of the issue. They just want their independence basically.
Yeah,
They want the right to choose. They want a democracy, and
obviously China
they
does not.
they don't. They want to keep everything as a communist, authoritative government. They're even saying that Western politics are corrupting their people, which, if you ask me, is asinine. Is stupid because I'll be honest. I myself don't know too much about communism, but I went on did a quick search on it. Basically, everything's in theory, and the same
Yeah.
thing. Same thing. I will even say same thing with democracy. Everything's in theory.
Yeah, because you have it under this title, but what does that really mean? It's different
Exactly.
for whoever is in power and how they're going to use it, grow it, abuse it, etc. But the NBA, do you know anything about what's happening with the NBA and China and them banning it? There's like Twitter or there's tweets or something happening. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, that's one of the first companies I was hearing about. I do have a list of all the companies I can
Oh,
give
you
you as
do.
well.
Awesome.
Yeah, I tried to pull up as much information as I could as well, but it had to do with the Rockets manager. He's basically said he had solidarity with those in Hong Kong. They didn't like it. They made him delete the tweet. He basically reworded his tweet, still saying these words are my words alone, but still saying that basically he supported Hong
Yeah.
Kong, but put it in a more professional way where it seemed like, hey, I'm sorry, you're sorry, basically. Which,
Yeah.
good job. Stick to your guns. And even the same thing with Matt and Trey Parker with South Park. Did the same thing.
Honestly, and it's not their first time doing that. They're always diving into these deep issues with
hmm
genuine humor and self awareness, especially with the situation.
But
Um,
yeah,
I didn't watch
so
the episode,
me
but I
neither.
know
But
that,
I can get you a clip easy.
yeah, I don't even think it's necessary because I think whoever's watching this, if you're going to watch it, you are. If you're not, go watch it. But I
Yeah.
know that they were making fun of it essentially using Winnie the Pooh characters, correct?
Oh, bother. That was bad Winnie the Pooh.
That was a good Winnie the Pooh. That was like if I did Winnie the Pooh. I have a book
but
called The Tao of Pooh, and it's like all of his sayings.
mm, but
Um,
there's still a little bit more about the NBA thing. So China didn't like that, and basically they canceled. I think it was a Nets and Knicks game. It was preseason,
yeah,
and there's a joke going around saying who even watches preseason.
people who gamble.
Yeah, but they basically canceled the games and took down basically every piece of I I can't think of the word advertisement of
Okay,
NBA to basically wipe it clean.
which is amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. That
To
is a
shut it
stranglehold.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
and
a lot of
basically
companies
and
fighting.
yeah, and the thing is, a lot of Chinese companies pulled out of the NBA. So now they're like, "Oh no, we're sorry, we're sorry, we're sorry."
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're an American company. You're supposed to be about free speech. Why are you censoring one of your own people? It's despicable, in my opinion, on that.
It's wild. And it is because of
Exactly.
money and investment in China, and it's a huge issue that's bigger than this just these companies, but you have to see it from the company side as well. I don't know how much money they would lose if they just, I don't know, took no action against this. But it's very complex. I feel like it has to be more complex than
It is.
anyone not ahead of these companies like can even understand.
It is actually a lot more complex than a lot of people are saying, because China has one of the biggest populate. Well, it is the biggest population in the world. So compare. I don't have the exact numbers. Let's just say we are 100 million, and China is 1 billion. It's like 2 point some billion. But say it's 1 billion. Where do you think the money is really going to come from that point? China. And the thing is, they're thinking with their wallets, which isn't always the right thing to do.
No.
And I do have a theory about how they really could have went about it, and maybe have a Chinese division to actually abide by their laws. So this way, you can actually have your American side, and go by American rules. But even then, it's still messy at that point.
And do you think they would
I
even want to give that up and give China their own division? The
I don't
NBA, I
think
mean, or
it
any
wouldn't be
other
the
league
NBA.
sporting.
It would be like the CBA or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure China has their own national basketball teams. I'm pretty sure they do. I
Yeah.
don't really watch too much Chinese media, but I'm pretty sure they do.
Interesting. Who said it? Who said
It was the Rockets manager,
the
and
Rockets
basically
manager? Yeah. What action was taken against the Rockets manager?
pretty much nothing. I think they just yelled at him, basically made him delete the tweet, and he sent out another tweet. It
And it
wasn't
was
too
like a more
much.
professional tweet. You said.
It was basically a tweet that basically said, "Screw you. I say what I want. These are my words," but in a professional way,
But
where
sorry
it made
about
it,
it.
where it seemed like he was sorry.
Yeah.
That was how most people were reading it,
And that's how
and
it
even
played out. And
that's how I
everything's
read it
fine
too.
now.
From what
So
I've read, yeah, so far, unless something comes up.
so then the big PR nightmare happens to Blizzard. The winner of the Hearthstone tournament has his gas
Blitzchung.
mask on, he has his goggles on, and the casters aren't shutting him off. And he says, "Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our time," in his own language, and gets banned for a year and gets all of his prize money stripped away from him, as well as banning the two casters, correct?
Yes and no. There's more information that actually have come out. They didn't ban the casters; they outright fired them at first. Then they basically backpedaled. They waited 3 days to give a statement out on Friday toward the afternoon. This way, it wouldn't affect their stocks too much because their stocks did drop but then recover. Um, Basically, what they did was give them 6 months. Both the newscasters and Blitzchung, and they did give the money back, obviously taking out taxes. Um, and people do say that's not right because, and more information came out on this today, because there were these three students, college kids, that held up a sign on stream saying "Free Hong Kong."
U.S. players.
Yes, U.S. play. I believe they
And
were in Virginia.
and they wrote boycott Blizzard.
Yeah. Um, because Blizzard took no action, they themselves dropped out and forfeited their matches. Right. Come today, so about 8 days later, after this whole fiasco happened, they sent an email out, and like I said, I have all the information here, saying that we basically banned these players, and I can actually. Where's
It's
my
for
mouse?
6 months they banned them, correct? Because I was just reading about it before this.
Yeah, they gave them each 3 months, and I can't find the actual
3 months?
article. No, it's 6 months. They gave them
Mm.
each of the three people 6 months. I can't find the actual article right now because I have everything popping up
Okay.
now. Yeah, sorry. I'm also doing some stuff on game design, so
No, it's cool.
and that's
You
in
have
case you're
tabs on
wondering.
tabs on tabs.
Yeah, like, this
Oh
is how
my
much
god.
This is how much I've been going into it. Clarification. Oh, actually, it's actually in my other server. Sorry. But it's one of the article. It's the article that is very vague, but they eventually did get a 6 month ban, but 8 days later, and people are like, it took you 8 days to do this and like 8 minutes to do this.
Yeah.
They're just covering their tracks because at this point,
It's just a nightmare. And they canceled their New York event for the game Overwatch releasing on the Switch. On Thursday, they were going to have an Overwatch event, which is tomorrow, with the voice actors at the Nintendo store. And they canceled it outright because they know people are going to protest.
oh yes, they definitely would have protested. No argument on that. And what's actually even funnier, I've read some reviews about the Overwatch for Switch, and they're saying is,
I was thinking about buying it. Like, obviously, I haven't yet because I have it on PC and Xbox.
PS4.
And I don't. Oh, figures. And I honestly don't know how I feel about Blizzard right now. So I haven't like actively. I haven't been playing it like in. I haven't not been playing it in boycott, but I also just like haven't been playing it really.
Let's just say my boycott has been going on for a few years.
I love Overwatch. It's my favorite game. If you look at Real.People.Gaming channel, like we have a bunch of Overwatch videos.
I'm actually a Lucio main.
Oh, he's my least favorite character. I mean, Batiste as a healer. And then I also play Moira and Orisa. I like Batiste though. He's like the best healer.
I was actually not bad with Ryan. I think it's Reinhardt. I think it was.
Reinhardt's sweet, yeah.
I was pretty good with him. I've never gotten played a game though, so hey.
Not once.
Not once. I'm only like level 12 though, so
yeah. You should play more. I wish I had it on PlayStation. I would play with you.
If I'll tell you if what I would do later on, for me to start playing Overwatch again.
What?
But I'll come back to that. Okay. But
really quickly, so
there's actually
they canceled the event at the New York store, and I think it was not a good idea on their part. I think they should have just let people protest. I think that it probably would have been a bad look, but either way, it's a bad look.
Here's the thing. I'll be honest. If I was in their shoes, I would be waiting, actually, because now here's the thing. There's actually two human rights activist groups going on. One of them was actually a really big fighter in the net neutrality scandal that was going on. And I actually have their thing up here, and it was Gamers for Freedom. Yeah, it's like Fight for the Future. That was one of them. Actually, that Fight for the Future is the other one. I believe this one actually works with the United Nations. I guess I have a lot of information up on here.
Yeah.
But they are already in hot water, and there's a couple of questions that they want answered, which are actually quite fair. But the thing is, it really goes with their policy. Truth be told, everyone that's saying free Hong Kong technically aren't breaking the rules, because where it says at their discretion.
Yes.
That's too vague.
That is very vague.
Because there was a lawsuit a while ago. We were probably still in high school, actually younger middle school, and it was about fine print. If it's too fine print, too vague, they can literally they sued people. I forget what company it was. And it was deemed that fine print does have to be bigger, eligible, and noticeable in order for it to really count. And because it's so vague, keep in mind, I am not a contract lawyer. This is someone who would probably shine at this point. They probably could sue, at least the American students, because you could say that they infringe on their freedom of expression.
Yes.
Because you did this, waited this amount of time. It's something you could argue. I'm not a lawyer, but it's something that could definitely be argued. Won't be argued because no one has the time or the money.
Not against Blizzard.
Yeah, definitely not against Blizzard.
But...
You need Bill Gates. But it's, in all honesty, it's not worth it. But if you have any viewers that are actually lawyers, I mean, that would be something interesting at least to discuss.
Yeah, so if anyone's a lawyer and wants to come on and talk about this, I'll have you on again, and I'll be here, and we could talk about it. So if anybody's watching this and you want to have a conversation about this, please let us know, and we'll try to make it happen if you want to. I mean, I will at least. I don't want to speak for you, but.
If I'm off from work, or like I said, I just came from work.
Yeah.
If it's possible, and I'm not doing a class, but I'm totally up for it.
Yeah.
But the policy, like I said, it's very vague. So people don't know at what discretion what could be done, because people even people like me or bring up the argument saying, what if he was for Black Lives Matter? What if he was for LGBT plus? Yeah. Are you gonna cut the mic off on him for that?
Well, I have a friend who was saying, because we were having this discussion, and he was saying that Blizzard is doing an injustice to their own causes because they're just picking and choosing what causes that people can speak about openly, and that is censorship, and it is an issue.
Exactly. And not only that, but I do feel how they go about some of the stuff is very wrong. I like I said, I can only really speak as a black man, African American, and Irish, but I can also speak as a bi person, as someone who is of the LGBT group, and this is something I do want to do. I need to do a lot of research on this, but I kind of feel like they're just shoehorning. Oh yeah, this character's gay. Oh, this character. How does it influence the game? How does it influence the story? Like, my whole issue is this: let it influence the character's development. It's an arena fighter, so unless you bring it out a movie, like a full-on movie, I think it's to be 100
digital shorts, though. You don't think that?
I mean, a full 88-minute movie was actually noticed by the Motion Picture Association. Yeah. Bring it a full-on movie. That's my challenge.
Because I feel like especially in 2019 going to 2020, like even a YouTube video is considered real media now. So I don't know if I agree with that 100%. I like that the characters are more diverse, and
I like that too. Don't get me wrong. I do like that.
Forced from my perspective, but I do see how people do think that it's forced.
Like the reason I say it's forced in that, and also how it's honestly hurting Blizzard more, is because I think I'm viewing it more as like how it was in the 1960s and 1970s with black exploitation movies. Like I said, I can only speak from the eyes of
exploiting it.
I feel like they're looking at how everything is going now with the free speech. I feel like they are exploiting my community, the LGBT community. Basically even everyone's race at this point, because everyone is multicultural. I love that fact. I love the fact that we have multiple characters, that they actually got voice actors from those cultures, and I love that.
I love that too.
But the whole fact that with this whole issue, how you can this brings into question, and I actually this year even questioned all these companies. You have the rainbow flags up now, but would you keep them up for at least another week? I think only one company did so, and I wish I remember who it was. But yeah, the new news that came out was basically the whole 3 college kids now getting banned, which it raises more questions about them. And then you even have Riot Games, who is 100% owned by Tencent, saying, "Hey, yeah, guys, don't talk about nothing political, or you'll get banned." Which
you have Epic, who's saying, "Do whatever you want."
Yeah, we'll see what happens when push comes to shove. But my whole argument with Riot is this: yes, congratulations on saying this in advance, so people, are aware. But at
Mhm.
the same time, you're bending the knee regardless,
Yeah.
because you're censoring your players and stuff. And I
And that's
understand that
the
they
whole
want it.
thing. Like, it's so gray. There's so many elements.
Not only that, but the thing is, the companies and people who don't understand about the protest, they don't understand what a protest is, and it is to create disruption. It's to make you sit there and go, wait, what's going on? It's to ask questions, and people are like, oh, this is no time for politics in my games. Let me ask you this: human rights, why is it political? Why is it such a bad thing to be wanted to be treated equally?
Yeah.
If you don't want to be treated equally, go back to the 1920s, go back to the 1800s. What is your race? Because I guarantee you, you're either going to be a slave, beaten, dead. I don't want to say the hard, the other R. It sounds like grape soda, because the how YouTube is sometimes.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, let's just say the abuse you would most likely have if you were any other race besides white. Don't get me wrong, the Irish were treated kind of bad, but not nowhere near as bad as minorities. But that's a whole
Yeah.
other story. That's a whole other story about potato famine.
And you're just even saying like this isn't just like a business issue. It is a human rights issue. And if we're going to bend the knee to China and we're going to be okay with these companies censoring us for cherry-picked issues as long as it affects their dollar amount, like it is the bigger issue. It is what everybody has been fighting for all of human history pretty much, and that is equal rights
Exactly.
and freedom.
Exactly.
Yeah. And obviously, you can't have like this chaos state. There have to be guidelines, there have to be rules, there has to be consequences to your actions. So it's even tough to say, like, okay, what was the player's name? I just don't remember right now who that is.
Blitzchung.
Blitzchung. Blitzchung spoke up. He got his message across. He created so much awareness around this issue, and he got penalized for it, which is also like something that happens when you say something controversial. So that's where I'm kind of torn because I do see both sides of it. I see it from Blizzard and Activision's side, whereas, like, okay, this is hurting us. You said it, but now you get consequences.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of companies don't want to make a political stance, and I know a lot of people don't like the quartering so much because he can be a bit spicy. But I am going to have to kind of quote him on this, and it is a lot of it's either him or Sadalfa. One of them said companies don't a lot of it may have been Jim Sterling for all I remember. I've been watching so many people.
Yeah.
Um, One of them said that companies don't really want to be in a political stance, but by taking action, whether positive or negative, you're making
They're.
a political statement at that point.
You're right. I
And
think that's
by
true.
banning the kid for saying, hey, my people want free, basically free human rights. Oh, no, 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 we can't do that. Get out of here.
I still don't know what my opinion is. This conversation has not helped me at all. I think my opinion is Blizzard should not have penalized the player. I think that is my final decision. Blizzard Activision should not have penalized anybody. I think the fact that they did penalize Blitzchung and the two casters and then kind of not revoked it, but like lightened it was a better move after an already horrible move. And I think that they should have definitely taken quicker action on the American students and players who held up the boycott Blizzard, liberate Hong Kong sign. I think that is just bad calls all around, and companies don't know what the fuck they're doing sometimes.
Here's another thing: companies in general, they don't. And the main thing that a lot of people need to understand: companies are not our friend. They're trying to get our dollar.
Even if you like their
Vote.
game or
Exactly.
something that
If you
they
don't like
make.
what they're doing, vote with your dollar. Vote with your wallet. don't feel bad about it, because yes, people may be losing their job, which it is sad, but at the same time, people have been doing it for every single company out there.
I still just don't know where I stand on it. It's so messy, and I'm such not a political person. And I feel like since I am in the gaming industry, I am so invested in the Overwatch community and the Hearthstone community because I used to run Hearthstone tournaments locally. It's just a tough spot to be in as a fan and a creator. And that's why I wanted to have you on too, especially since you offered. Thank you again. But
There's no
I
problem.
didn't want to give my opinion because I don't have a good one. I wanted to get the opinion from somebody who has been researching this and knows about it, and that way I give my audience something to think about and comment on as well.
Yeah, and let me
So,
also say this too. If I do have some information that's wrong, correct me. I can take criticism, no problem on
yeah.
that. Because like I said, I'm only human.
And not opinions, like, not that you, I don't want to hear that his opinion is wrong.
Oh
If
yeah,
facts
I
are
want
wrong.
yeah, exactly, the facts. I got an opinion. Everyone has an opinion.
Yeah, I'd like to hear
They're
your
like
opinion,
butts.
but don't say anyone else's is wrong, please. Because that's just, like, annoying for everybody.
Exactly. Like I said, I had a friend. I have my friend's friend who I even told him, get your boy before I destroy him.
What
Uh
happened?
Basically, I was gonna go so hard on with facts, because here's I just remember something too, because of the whole issue. He brought up an issue that happened in 2011 in Africa about the government saying, "Hey, yeah, it'll be an unstable government." We're in 2019. America's government is unstable, regardless
Yeah.
of how it was unstable back then. It was unstable in the 60s, 70s, 80s, even now. No government is going to be completely stable. And he wanted to call me ignorant when he thought the Tiananmen Square incident was one incident, when when it's considered the fourth, which is also made up of multiple incidents where people were died and shot. We're looking at another incident at this caliber. Like, excuse me? You want to see people get shot up?
So can you explain a little bit more about what you're talking about?
So yeah, because the thing is, because the protests, this, like I said, this is something I just remembered myself, but the protests are, violent now. Yes, there are still peaceful ones, which I personally believe a nice balance between the two. You can get your voice across at a lot faster rate.
Mm-hmm.
But one can overshadow the other and, you know, mess it up. But because of there being a lot of people being arrested, the police themselves cannot really handle it. They're not really equipped for this. The Chinese military may be coming in, and I have not been seeing it lately. Excuse me, but they're basically at this point they're just threatening, like, hey, guys, stop, or we're
Stop
bringing
or
the
we're going
tanks.
to, yeah, we're gonna get even more violent.
So we may be looking at another slaughter. But here's the thing: if we get another slaughter, we may be looking at a world war. And I've been
That's heavy.
feeling. Here's the thing: since I was a kid, I've been feeling a lot of uneasiness. Like, I'm more spiritual now than I was then, but I've been feeling like a big war, maybe even a civil war or something, like something happening. I don't know what, but and it's not just me. I know a lot of people really feel something big is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's either going to be the issue of Syria or the issue with Hong Kong. It's too big of an issue. Those are two of the biggest issues right now that's facing the world. And I'll be honest, I'm not a father, but for my nieces, nephews, cousins, even my friends' kids, I'm scared for them. I really am. I'm where you have all these companies really taking over government. You who Companies who are also willing to say, hey, yeah, China, we love your money. Screw these guys.
Yeah. We will
Like,
bend to you.
yeah, this is honestly the world I'm afraid for any child, basically. Even really for everyone. I am downright terrified of the world we have right now. You can't even be in your home, you get shot. you can't voice your own opinion, or your livelihood is basically taken away.
It's true.
This is not the world
And
we
you can have your whole life destroyed by somebody accusing you of something even. Like
exactly
we're in a fucked up world right now.
exactly.
It's
It,
like
it,
it's like fake. Like everything's fake.
like there has to be a glitch in the matrix. Neo, we need
Yeah,
you.
dude. I talk about the Matrix all the fucking time. I say that I am in the Matrix because like
It's
sometimes
everything is so far fetched.
yeah, and some people like some situations I'm in, even in my everyday life, I stand back and I'm like, just feel out of place. Like I'm watching this happen and I'm on this different level than everybody else, and it's just like everybody's coasting along, and it's just fucking weird.
It's like exactly like you're going downstream, down rapids, and you're like, no, no, get me off this ride, and you're trying to swim up.
Yeah,
Like you're basically trying to fight the current.
yeah, but the current's like, it's not
It's
even
just
like you're in the
dragging
current,
you.
but you're not wet. You know what I mean?
You're in the current, you're not wet, but it's still dragging you along.
Yeah.
It's like I guess you could say for your anime fans, getting punched by One Punch Man without actually getting hit.
Facts. Getting hit by the wind of One Punch Man.
Mm-hmm. That's a shockwave. Like
Good shout out. I think this was really good.
like I said, if you have any other questions, like I said, I have literal information which you can really see on the screen right now. If there's any information you need, let me know.
Do you want to add anything else?
Pretty much what the whole issue is, I'm just watching right now. That's pretty much all
Yeah,
we
me
can
too.
do. I do know that people are planning to protest BlizzCon
Oh yeah.
inside and outside. If you don't get a ticket, you're going to be doing outside. Those who got a ticket inside. There's talks about Winnie the Pooh cosplay, which they're not going to allow. So actually, let me give you guys some help with that. Just go with a red shirt. Call it a day on that. If you want to do a little extra, khakis, cargo pants, red shirt, a little more extra, long sleeve khaki type shirt, tan shirt, red shirt. Congratulations, you got Winnie the Pooh. Get inside, little lipstick on her nose. Hey. Because there's even a Facebook meme basically off of Area 51. Raid BlizzCon. They can't kick us all out.
Oh gosh, that's
But
hilarious.
let me say this too as well. Do it legally, please, everyone.
Do everything in
Abide
life legally.
Yes, abide by the actual state and federal laws for the protesting. Because if you are rowdy and disruptive, you want to be disruptive, but not destructive. You get your word across a lot more in this case. Because I can guarantee you, we are going to be seeing CNN, MSNBC, Fox. We're going to see every single newscast covering this, even local news, because this is going to be big. This is going to be big. I just wish I could go. Cause I'll be the only one. You'll see the only guy dressed up as Black May.
Wait, what? Say that again?
Yeah, I will be the only black guy as a Black May, which would be
You're
kind
gonna be
of
a
fun.
Black May.
I would totally dress up with it.
That'd be adorable.
I mean, hey, I got a Sailor Moon thing right here.
Do you? You have a Sailor Moon costume and you're not wearing it?
Well, I'm debating right now between Princess Trunks and Sailor Moon, or Princess Trunks as Mulan, or as the song "Bring Honor to Us All."
Please.
So yeah.
Yeah, you should do Mulan. Verdict, Mulan. I want to thank you, Hiko, for being on this, I guess, podcast and talking about the issues that are happening right now. We both decided you just have to kind of wait and see. I'd like to revisit this after BlizzCon because
Oh,
that's gonna be
I would be
wild.
more than willing to come on, and also
Mm-hmm.
thank you for having me. Like I
Thank
said,
you so much.
I'm is no problem. Like I myself, I'm not really big on talking politics, even on my own platform. I'm not really big on it. But something like this, people are saying it's controversial,
It's too huge not to talk
and
about.
it's too big not to talk about. And a lot of the comments do say, what's controversial about wanting to be treated equally?
I think that's a good theme as well to this whole conversation that we've had.
Exactly. Men should be treated equally with women. Blacks, whites, Asians, but everyone should be treated equally.
No matter what you look like, no matter where you're from.
It's no argument. It really isn't.
I don't understand why it is an argument. I don't even understand.
Hatred. That's the whole reason.
It's unhappiness and it's hatred and it's greed and it's all the bad things. I think unhappiness is the most because people get power so that it gives them happiness and people take control because they think it'll give them happiness. A lot of people are unhappy. Cool. Thank you so much. This has been Real People Gaming. You can subscribe. I'll put the links below. And please, if you have anything to say on this issue, comment it, send me a video. If you want to be on to talk with us after BlizzCon, let me know. Thank you. Goodbye.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, for the record, yeah. For the record, yeah. For the record, yeah. For the record, for the record, yeah. For the record. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price for y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all.